Hi everyone, my name is Kate, and for my action plan project, I will be focusing on domestic violence survivors and mental health issues and how the two are related. So before I go into the action plan, I will be giving a little bit of background about domestic violence. So it is defined as sexual, psychological, and or mental assault from one intimate partner to another. Before I did research about domestic violence, I know that I personally just looked at it at the physical abuse side, but I didn't realize that there were so many parts that are played in it. And another thing that I didn't realize is that it is very hard to leave their abuser, and a lot of people think that it is better after they leave their abuser. And although some parts are better, receiving help can become a lot harder, and there's a lot of psychological problems that are dealt with the survivor to deal with by themselves. And for the population, it is not just women, it can also have men included. The majority are women, but we do need to realize that anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. So going into addressing needs, two concerns that I have are lack of resources for mental health. And as I stated earlier, after they leave their domestic abuser, it is very hard for them to receive help and mental health as well, mental health help as well to help their issues. And two solutions that I have with that are, for the first one, hotlines and shelters should provide or know places that provide resources to help with mental health, specifically PTSD and depression, which are the two most commonly known mental issues related to domestic violence. And for the second one, there should be more awareness about domestic abuse starting as early as high school, because the main group that are victims of this are women from ages 18 to 24. So going on to section 2, the objective is to provide more resources and awareness supporting domestic violence survivors and their mental health. So the action steps that I have here are start informing people about domestic violence as early as high school, and to provide more mental health resources at hotlines and shelters. So for organizational strategies, the first one I have is monitor the change and process. Monitoring the change process will help the organizations notice differences in their clients to see if these action steps in the action plan help. And for the personal competencies and cultural skills, I have be resourceful, which goes hand in hand because they need to be resourceful. And the more resourceful they are, the more change in the process that they will see. For the second organizational strategy, I have strive for client satisfaction in a culturally relevant way. So hotlines and organizations should provide resources for mental health, even if they think their clients are fine, because mental health can be hidden. There are clients who know how to hide it, and maybe they don't think they need to help, or they don't want to be like a burden on the therapist. So we just need to provide those resources just in case. And this goes like above and beyond, and the client will be satisfied and will feel like the employee wants to help them because they are going above and beyond what the client specifically came in for. For the second personal competency, I have observe attentively. While observing attentively, the employees will be able to see if their client might need more resources for mental health or more knowledge on the subject. Also, it is another way of showing the survivor that they are not alone and that there is someone out there that wants to help them, which wants them to get more help, knowing that there are people out there. For the last organizational strategy, I have maintain cultural awareness, including gender issues at all levels of the organization. So we need to make sure employees are staying up to date with all mental health issues and signs to look out for. And this will help employees have an easier time noticing if their client is having a mental health issue. That might be hard for someone to notice without these resources and without the knowledge of mental health. And the last personal competency I have is to have patience. Clients will most likely not want to receive help and get resources at first, and they might reject it. So we just need to be patient and stay there with them. And there will be a time when hopefully they will be willing to receive that help. For the time frame, I said it would take about 3 months. I thought for the first month, all the employees from the hotlines and organizations or shelters should attend a training in order to be educated on mental health. And for the second month, hotlines and organizations should be advertising the new mental health resources that they provide. And I said for the third month, companies should start following up with their employees weekly to see if workshops and resources are helping clients and if workers are seeing a difference. It could take more than 3 months, but I give the 3-month time frame because I see there's 3 steps in order to have this action plan go about, and I think 1 month for each step is a proper time frame. And in conclusion, domestic abuse is usually known as just physical abuse. However, the emotional and mental abuse are overlooked, And all three are very traumatizing for the victim, and the abuse doesn't just stop when the abuser leaves. They play a big part after they leave as well, because the victim is still traumatized and their life has now changed forever. And I hope that you all learned a little bit about my presentation. I know that I learned a lot doing all of this research, and I hope you guys have a great night.